let's talk about the crock of shit that is natural game. First of all, the very idea of natural game doesn't even make sense to be taught. Okay, natural game means it occurred spontaneously without intervention. How the fuck are you gonna coach natural game, right? Natural game is the equivalent of like learning a sport by just going out with a ball and just like practicing on your own and never getting coached. Yes, you will get better to a point, but you're gonna do a lot of things fundamentally wrong, and there is a cap on how good you can get, right? You're asking to be that kid that like grows up like playing basketball on the street corner, gets some skills, but then if he ever goes to college, he has to fucking completely relearn his jump shot, all right? It's fundamentally wrong, fundamentally unsound. And what you're asking to do by natural game is you're asking it to just develop by brute force. You're saying, I'm just gonna go out and do more time in field than anybody else. I'm gonna work harder than anybody else, and that's my way to success. That's not how you get a great level of success at anything, all right? If you had to, for everything you want to succeed at, if you had to work harder than everybody for that level of success, you could have succeeded at exactly one thing in your entire life. Because anybody else who's working even remotely as hard as you would be right there, right? The way that you're successful at life is by working smarter, by working better, by getting a leg up, right? There is a reason why in the 21st century, we have a better life than we had in the 10th century. And it's that we've sort of stood on the shoulders of giants, and we've learned the lessons before and taken them. We haven't fucking reinvented the wheel every step of the way. Natural game asks you to do that. The idea of natural game is go out, and then go out some more, and then go out some more. And there isn't like a pattern to it, there isn't a structure to it. It's just fucking like, go get more time in field. Let your brain figure it out naturally. Well, okay, to a point you will get better. However, here is the problem. Number one, you're gonna have to relearn everything that everybody's learned before you instead of using that work. Number two, you're gonna learn some of the wrong lessons. Maybe you do something and it works, or it seems to work, but actually your success was in spite of that thing you did. If you talk to a lot of naturals, they'll have these weird ideas. They're like, oh, this is my lucky chain. Whenever I wear it, I get laid. And they literally think that's the thing that got them laid because they went out one night, they wore the chain, and it worked for them, right? It wasn't the chain, it's what they did and said that night. But they've misattributed their success to this thing, they've locked it in, learned a lesson, and then they won't unlearn that lesson. So there's a cap. There's a cap to how good you're gonna get unless you get scientific about the way you're learning game. If you're not being scientific, if you're not using, actual like, here's my idea, let's go actually test it. Let's go try this new thing. If I think this thing works, let's try doing it without it and see if it works without it. If I think it works, but suddenly my results are not getting to the level they should be, let's try something new and see if maybe there's something even better, all right? The way that you get progress in life, the thing that sets human beings apart from animals at a fundamental level is the scientific method. It's the fact that we grow and we learn and we have a systematic approach to it, okay? The idea of just go out, just go out, just go out is one of the dumbest things you could possibly do in terms of learning game. You will get better to a point, but you will reach a mediocre level. So let's talk about not just what natural game is, let's talk about where it comes from and why it's taught. Natural game is not a great way to learn to be great at pickup. However, it is a very fast way to get decent at pickup. See, whenever you learn a skill, whenever you're like a new skill set, there's gonna be a period of implementation. There's gonna be a period where you're a little awkward and unnatural with it, and your game or whatever you're doing may actually get worse during that period. So when you learn a skill set, that's a little awkward. Imagine you're learning a sport, you start dribbling a basketball. How awkward does it feel when you first start dribbling? It's a new motion, it feels fucking weird, all right? Every skill is gonna be that way, and every new move, every new thing you're gonna do, it's gonna have that learning curve, and you will get worse before you get better with it. The great thing about natural game is that because you're not changing much, you're just putting in more effort, right? You're putting in more sort of fearless effort, so to speak. By doing that, you will get an immediate improvement. However, that improvement only goes so far. It's almost like a placebo effect, right? For those of you who aren't familiar with the placebo effect, it's the idea that like, if you're sick, you can take a sugar pill, and a lot of times that'll make you better just because you expect it to make you better. And so mentally you're in a better place, your body will respond, etc., right? So natural game in a very real sense is almost like a placebo. You take that placebo, it'll get you better for a very short period of time, but it hasn't actually fundamentally improved you in any way. That better is not sustainable and won't take you anywhere. You're just gonna regress as soon as you're over that initial high. Okay, but it does make you feel better right away. It gives you that immediate sort of like magic pill sense of accomplishment, which makes you think, oh shit, the coaching worked. And then even better from a marketing standpoint is this, it worked, and then afterwards it stopped working because you didn't actually make any real improvement, right? And now you're like, oh shit, I better go get more coaching. So it's actually phenomenally brilliant from a coaching standpoint. Oh shit, it felt good when I was doing it, things got better, and then all of a sudden it went away. Well, I guess I messed up. I guess I'm not doing it right. No, you're doing it right. It's just the placebo wore off, okay? The idea of natural game as a method is fucking bullshit. Everything in life, yes, there's an effort component, but there is a technical component. So to deny the technical component is to deny reality, okay? And you're not gonna get very far in life denying reality. So as you can see, natural game, wonderful marketing. Absolutely wonderful marketing in terms of getting someone to feel good while being taught, right? And getting someone to, instead of imagine you're teaching a skill, there's a little bit of awkwardness, it's a little hard to learn. You teach natural game, it's like, oh shit, I feel like I'm doing better right away. And then you get that nice little relapse where you gotta come back for the next coaching. If you wanna know politically where natural game came from, little story of the pickup community. So circa, I wanna say like 2000, maybe 2004-ish, I don't know the exact, somewhere 2003, 2005, somewhere in there, everybody was doing canned technical game, right? And people were getting really good results. People were getting girls that they did not deserve. These nerdy, bad-looking guys were getting attention, dates from some really, really hot girls. Problem is, a lot of people were repeating the same routines over and over again, and certain areas were starting to get saturated, like places where a lot of people were going out. Girls had heard the lines before, and it was starting to get weird. Also, around the same time, the book The Game was coming out, and that kind of like made the canned game look weird, look creepy, look like a social robot. So from a marketing perspective, it was necessary to get away from canned game. So a lot of the pickup companies that were doing canned game moved towards natural game because it was more marketable, more palatable, and that way they could take advantage of the PR and the I guess the just notice, the attention that the book The Game was creating, and they could actually turn it into positive leads, etc. Finally, from a marketing perspective, natural game is really good because it allows for the idea of going into other areas like general self-improvement, which is a much bigger niche than just pickup is. So it's a great marketing strategy in terms of that as well, right? So now, instead of just teaching you pickup skill to get you laid, I can go teach you how to make more money, I can go teach you how to dress better, I can teach you how to get in the gym, all those kind of things. And so now, there's a whole lot more that I can market to you, and it's a lot more politically correct and a lot more holistic, all right? But understand this, the reason that natural game was implemented in the pickup community was pure marketing bullshit. The reason that it is used today is pretty much pure marketing bullshit. Can you get better by just going out and going hard? Absolutely, to a point. To a point you can, and that's why you see, like go to a group of guys that are doing pickup, you'll see a lot of guys that are relatively fearless, they can do an approach, but they're not really getting results. You see a lot of guys that do interactions that look okay, but they're not getting laid. Or you'll see a lot of guys that are getting like 5, 6s, maybe the occasional 7, but they're not getting the hot girls. Why? Because they bought the natural game, they swallowed that pill, they bought the bullshit, drank the Kool-Aid, that's the metaphor I'm looking for. They drank the fucking natural game Kool-Aid, and it got their game to this far, but it can never get their game this far because they never learned how to unlearn the bad habits. And they never learned how to be scientific and ratchet it up beyond their natural ability. So natural game, what will it do for you? It will allow you to get the girls that you are supposed to get based on how cool you naturally are. So if you are a naturally really cool guy and you're not getting any girls, learning natural game will help you get some girls. Mainly not because you've learned anything, but just because it'll get you doing approaches. If you do enough approaches, just by pure random chance, you'll get some girls. Okay, so it will get you the girls you're supposed to get based on your level. But if you want to get girls beyond what you're supposed to get, and for a lot of us, that's what we want. I mean, like, how many of us are like rock star, millionaire celebrities who really deserve to get 10s, right? But if you want to get the 9s and 10s, the really hot girls, you can do it by being scientific and learning game the right way. But the natural game bullshit absolutely will not get you there. It'll get you okay. It'll feel good while you're learning it. It'll be kind of fun, and that's good. You know, going out and having fun, that's a wonderful thing. But just think of this. Natural game is what everybody else on the planet is doing. Every drunken frat boy is doing natural game. Every guy who gets drunk on a Friday night is doing natural game. Every guy who doesn't even understand what's attractive to girls, but just is ballsy and decides to go up, is doing natural game. If you want to do better than the average, how in the fuck are you going to do it by doing the exact same thing that the average guy is doing? Just think about it. It doesn't fundamentally make sense. What does make sense is this. Game is a skill set and needs to be learned as such. So treat it that way. You may not get that initial little pop. It may actually get a little harder at first. It's actually true. because you are learning a skill set, and whenever you learn a skill set, it's a little awkward. However, that phase is very, very short, and once you start developing that skill, it will snowball, and you'll get results far superior to what you could ever get in your wildest dreams doing the bullshit natural style.